Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. Look at that, man. 25, 26, 27. We're on the third Nimbus. Isn't that crazy? I've been in the YouTube game for so long now that I've tested 3 Nimby, the 25, the 26, and now we have the Nimbus 27 Asics Max Cushioned Cruiser. So a few announcements before we get into it. 1, if you are looking for more running shoe reviews, and if you are interested in the culture of running shoes, and if you want to find running shoe deals, make sure you're signing up for the Supwell app. It's my app. It's the best place for hobby joggers to come talk about shoes, look at what's on the market. People are posting crazy deals left and right. If you have shoes to sell as well, now that race season's over, if you raced a marathon in the Vaporfly and you don't want it anymore and it only has 40 miles, come list it on the marketplace, put it at a good price. It will be gone within minutes. Someone DM'd me yesterday because I posted on my Instagram, the Supwell Running Instagram, that we're now shipping carbon to Abu Dhabi. True story. My guy Serge Rivera sent a pair of Adios Pro 3 to one of our hobby joggers in Abu Dhabi. It's crazy, moving carbon out to the UAE. And so someone else saw that I posted that. He signed up and he said, bro, I just sold my Adios Pro 3 in minutes. So if you have a race shoe you want to sell or a low mileage max stack shoe you want to sell, list it on the marketplace at a good price and it will be gone. Now, second thing, Hobby Jogger winter apparel is now live at hobbyjogger.com. We got the beanies. They're no longer $100. They're priced at $30 now. But if you're a member of the Supwell app, you can get them for $15. I do have the hoodies for sale. Finally, we have Champion quarter zips and Champion half zip windbreakers. I think that's all I have in terms of announcements today. Enjoy today's video. And remember, it's a gosh dang mileage revolution. Man, Asics-Gel Nimbus 27. This is a special one because this is the first shoe featured on the channel here where I'm reviewing the third iteration. That is really cool. I had the 25. I got that thing as soon as it came out. I actually had the 25 before I was even reviewing shoes. But then I started reviewing shoes and of course I reviewed it. I got the 26 pretty recently, actually. Only a few months ago. I was late to the party on that, but that became one of my favorite daily trainers of the year. And now we have the 27. We have the 27. It's Asics Max Cushioned Relax Mileage Everyday Shoe. I've been loving a lot of the Asics releases this year. Novablast 4, Glideride Max, and I'm hoping this slots in to that comfort cushion camp. So we'll do all the comparisons, but let's just open it up and see how it looks. I got the yellow colorway here. Bada boom, bada bang. What do we think? What do we think? It's aight. It's aight. It's not bad. Man, this is a big shoe. First thing I'm noticing, this is an absolutely massive shoe. Let me go grab the 25 and the 26 because the first thing I'm noticing here is this seems like an absolute tank compared to the last shoes. This is, man, one of the biggest shoes that I've held in my hands recently. Holy cow. All right, so this is the 25 here. This was my first experience with the Gel Nimbus. Massive stack of foam. This was a huge departure from the 24. They softened up the foam. They bumped it up in stack height. And this was released in, what was it, early 2023? Or late 2022, right around that. I think it was early 2023, January 2023. And this was when Max Cushion started changing the game. And a lot of these trading shoes started bumping up near 40 millimeters. So this was Asics' first true Max stack Nimbus. And 27 looks like it's returning to what a lot of people loved about the 25 here. Lots of foam, comfort, soft. Let's take a look at the 26. Yeah, 26, similar amount of foam, but they firmed it up. And I actually really liked the 26, and I still do. And they release these things every year, which is just crazy. And so with the number of shoes I test now, I just can't get the same number of miles on them that I used to, but I have probably 30 to 40 miles on this. I've really liked it. It is firmer. I ran it last week. I did my last run in the 26. It was a 10-mile run last week, and it does have some pep. So from the 25 to the 26, they firmed up the midsole a touch. They made it more supportive for me, bouncier. I found the 25 a tad too soft, but some people felt that it lost its magic in the 26 with firming it up. So 27 here looks like,
Let's take a look at all these. Yeah, they've widened out the base, pushing in the foam here. It does feel softer than the 26, returning back to what made the 25 a banger for a lot of people. Similar uppers across these, that has remained constant, and it's funny, they even have the same inner liner here, this shiny padded liner that is still in the 27. Similar profile. Not much has changed about the shoe except for the midsole. So midsole here is going to be FF Blast Plus, and when I say the midsole's changed, it seems that they firmed it up a touch, added even more foam. This is, in my size, probably up near 44, 45 millimeters at least in my 10.5. And of course, we have the gel unit in the heel. They haven't changed the compound itself. You can see it is still FF Blast Plus, which is Asics Core Training Foam. They have updated the Novablast to be FF Blast Max. So we're still going non-plated here. We are still max stack, and it is still all about comfort. So take a look at this. Good outsole coverage. We do have the hybrid Asics grip, which is nice. It's not going to be that bad, slippy, slidey rubber of the Novablast. And of course, super wide base here. This heel is so bulbous. It really does remind me a lot. Now, the differences between all these three are minor, but even if you just look at the sculpting in this bulbous heel, it reminds me a lot of the 25, which I loved for 200 miles. I really did love the 25, and then it started getting a touch too soft, and then I fell in love with the 1080 V13, and the 25 fell out of my rotation. But if you look at these last three generations, all very similar shoes. It's all about comfort, cushion, going out there for some nice cruising miles and relaxed time on feet. So that's exactly what we're going to do tomorrow morning. I'll throw all these guys on the scale. I'm just really excited because I just got my hands on the Nimbus 27 today, so I wanted to at least get these three out. And these are the little milestones that we have to celebrate, right? You can't control views. We can't control subscribers. We can't control brand partnerships, but I can control coming out here and giving you the best gosh dang reviews that I can and being consistent with it. And bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. 3 Nimbuses. We've been grinding so hard they dropped the 3rd gen. All right. It is 8:36 p.m. I got to organize my office here. I'll do all the shoe market weighing and comparisons in the morning. I'll see you guys then. A.m. I didn't wake up super early today. I tried, but I didn't. I've just been pretty smashed this week, and it's Thursday, so I decided to sleep in and hopefully let the body recharge. So I'm going to make some coffee, eat some brekkie, and then we can do the weigh-in and get the show on the road. All right, let's go. Papa with the JC Jackson, Daniel Tice, Nimbus. Bada boom, bada bang. Throwing the Nimbus on the scale, man. This is an absolutely massive shoe. I'm telling you, if somebody handed this to me and I didn't know it was a 10.5, I would say this is a size 12. Something about it just looks so big. I think it's the bulbous heel and how much foam you have. And I have a lot of super max stack shoes. I have the Skyward X. I have the Super Blast. This looks and feels bigger than all of them. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to translate into the weight. I just dropped it on the scale. I didn't look. Let's make sure we take this shoe insert out. It doesn't feel super heavy. It's probably around 330, but it just looks really heavy, and I'm sure it's going to be big on foot. By the way, this is the Wiz Khalifa colorway. It's the black and yellow. I failed to mention that yesterday. So this is coming in at, wow, it surprised me, 316 grams. That's actually good. Most of these max stack shoes are around 330, and as Charles was putting her shoes on this morning and taking the kids, we're getting everyone in the car, she said, man, the More V5 is just king. It's just king. So this is her favorite max stack shoe here. For me, this guy fell out of the rotation, and people keep asking me to compare it with some other shoes, so I'll get some more miles in again, compare it with the Bondi, compare it with the Nimbus. I have not gotten miles in it for a few months, so my memory of it is, it's not super sharp, but in my mind, what I remember is that it is soft, squishy, and it's a shoe that I liked. It had good bounce, but for longer runs, time on feet, it started feeling too soft, squishy for me. The thing is, Charlie loves it, so I've been sleeping on it, but let's put this thing on the scale, 336 grams. Now you can see, and the reason why I do this weigh-in is not just to tell you what shoe is heavier than the other, but weighing them will give us some insights into the materials used. So that tells me that the EVA blend that Asics uses, and these are both EVA blend foams, is lighter. This is a lighter compound. You get basically just as much of it in the Nimbus as the More V5. Both of these are the comfort-oriented shoes in the lineup. The Nimbus is actually $10 more than the More V5 right now, and it's coming in at a lighter weight. Now let's throw another recent favorite. This is my current fave of the Max Stack gang, Max Cushion gang, the Hoka Bondi, coming in at 332 grams. There was a huge weight discrepancy between the two shoes. So the other shoe was 316 grams, I believe. Let me actually do the QA check on the Nimbus to make sure that both of these are light, because that could not be the case. But the Bondi is a great update. This is the Bondi 9. The Bondi 8 was very firm and brick-like for a lot of people. The 9 completely changes that. The foam is new. It's softer. It almost reminds me of this foam right here. When I'm pushing in the Nimbus, these foams feel fairly similar. Has a nice bounce to it, a very smooth ride, and a low drop. It is a moderate to low drop in the Bondi, which makes it a really nice transition. The underfoot feel was so buttery. Yeah, putting this other Nimbus on for a QA check. This guy's coming in at 318. Okay, Asics usually does a good job. So average 317 across the two shoes. That is lighter than the More V5, which came in around 330, and the Bondi, which came in around the 320s, if you're going to average out the two shoes. Now, these were the Bondi and the More, the two category competitors. Let's take a look at the last two generations to see how the weight has evolved in the past few years. So Gel Nimbus 25 here. This is the softer version out of the last two. Comes in at 311 grams. So I'm guessing that the additional weight from the 25 to the 27 is coming from the additional foam. And you can see when you have this close up side by side here, there is a lot more foam in the 27, which is just crazy because just 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, it was January 2023, which calendar wise, they're next to each other. You ever thought about how December to January is only 1 month or 1 day, but then it's also a year? But then if you go January to December the next year, it's almost 2 years. You guys know what I'm talking about? Anyway, almost 2 years ago, and the standards for Max Stack have gone up even more. It is crazy. This shoe is so big, I'm telling you, it is a chunky, tall monkey here in the Nimbus 27. So lighter in the 25, but also less foam. And then let's look at the 26, which went toward a firmer, denser foam. This guy's coming in at 325. So that is an improvement. They lightened it up from the 26 to the 27 and potentially softened it up. My biggest question is, will it retain the bounce that I loved so much about the 26? And one reason I'm concerned about that is because they have introduced a new foam in their lineup, FF Blast Max, which is right here on the Asics Novablast 5. And so if we put the Asics Novablast 5 on the scale, you'll see this comes in at a way lighter weight, 269 grams, so about 50 grams lighter than the Nimbus 26 and 27. Comparing these guys side by side, you can see Nimbus does give you more foam. And let's see, pushing them in. The FF Blast Max actually does feel softer, but very bouncy, energetic foam in the Novablast 5. That's why I'm concerned. Are they just going to make the Novablast the bouncy shoe and the Nimbus is going to be the walking, relaxed shoe? Are they Bondi 8ing this, where this is no longer a true running shoe? Because in the past year, not only did the Novablast 5 come out, because the Novablast 4 was fairly similar to the Nimbus. It wasn't super bouncy and it was cushioned. There was a lot of overlap in the lineup. But to confuse things even more, they introduced the Glideride Max as well. And this is a combination of the Novablast and the Nimbus. Bottom foam here is what you get in the Novablast or Nimbus. This green is the Nimbus FF Blast foam. And the top foam is the FF Blast Max from the Novablast 5. And this is soft, but it is bouncy. So I actually thought this felt like a bouncy Nimbus. It looks like a Nimbus. It doesn't look like the Novablast. Wow, we have a lot of Asics shoes here. Yeah, this does make me concerned. Are they going to remove that fun bounce and slight bite that we got in the 26? But there's only one way to find out. But let's put all these shoes in a line here. This is how I would categorize them from most exciting to most comfort oriented. You have Novablast. This is the lowest price. This is $140. This is designed to be the exciting daily trainer that you can use for speed work. You have the Glideride Max. This is supposed to be a combination speed comfort shoe. And then you have the Nimbus. This is the tallest shoe. This is going to be the heaviest shoe. And this is the one that ideally will be the most comfortable shoe out of them. But again, there's only one way to find out. I have no idea why they put green on the bottom here, but look at this. You have the same green on the bottom of the Nimbus as the Glideride Max. I'm just noticing that. These two shoes really do look the same. Let's find out if they feel the same, though. Let's get them on foot. And just for comparison's sake, actually, let's throw the Glideride Max on the scale. Glideride Max comes in at 300 grams, so much lighter from that FF Blast Max foam, and it is just a narrower overall shoe with not as much bulk. By the way, I am testing these socks today. Balega Hidden Comfort. You guys know I'm big on the features. I love the OS First padded socks, but this is the Max Cushion Gang out of Balega. Balega. I don't like their name. It's almost as bad as OS First. I don't like their swag either. I don't like their branding. I'm just a features guy, but I have to do my due diligence, test if these Balega. Why do they have so many colors? Yellow, green, white. Is that their logo? It's just a broken rainbow? Balega. See you later. Big Zaw. Dude, these things just look so comfortable. Moment of truth, though. Slipping them on, is it a comfort banger? And I'm moderately worried that this isn't going to be that runnable, and I have to get some serious miles in. Yeah, with the Novablast 5 and the Glideride Max, that's my biggest question. Is this thing still going to be a legit mover and groover? And I think the answer is yes. And it's not as... Just stepping in here, it's not as squishy, soft as the 25. It seems it still did retain some of that structure of the 26. And by the way, I really like this colorway. I was medium on it at first, but this Golden Sun, the Wiz Khalifa, the Pittsburgh Steelers colorway here, it's fire. This is fire, especially with the all-black Hobby Jogger fit. I have the Hobby Jogger hoodie, Hobby Jogger hat. I'm testing out some new joggers, by the way. I'll put a review up on the Supwell app of these joggers. It's fire. I was going to get the all gray colorway, the monochrome. That one was pretty good, too. Maybe I'll be like my guy Dan Amos and just get that anyway. Just have a rotation of multiple NIMBY. But I like the way this one looks. All right, walk test here. Step and comfort is still there. definitely. By the way, the Balega socks, I'm not sold on them yet. They are comfortable in here, but they had a bunch of writing on the top, which is just weird. They said Balega Hidden Comfort in huge letters, but now they're hidden. So not too bad. It's also kind of cold out here. My toes are chilly, but yeah, step-in comfort is there. Not super soft, squishy. I have a feeling this might be more similar to the 26 or just in between 25, 26. From feeling the foam, I thought it was going to be softer, but not feeling that super soft squish that you would from a more V5. This is more similar to the softness of the Bondi, that gummy softness. That's how someone described it the other day, gummy softness. These shoes tend to compress more than that. The Bondi didn't compress a lot. It was more of a smooth roll. So we'll see once we get this thing going. But if you're going to get this as a walking shoe, by the way, fit is perfect in 10.5. This is a really nice fitting upper. Enough room in the toes here. These Asics shoes tend to work well for a lot of people. The fit, no different here. I had no issues in the 25 or the 26. One of the most comfortable fitting shoes out there for sure. Upper is great. But yeah, underfoot, if you're going to get this for walking, you will be happy. You'll be happy with this. You'll be happy with the Hoka. And again, the More V5, that fell out of the rotation for me because it was just too squishy soft for my preference. Now, Charlie loves it. She wears that thing almost every day for walking, so it will really depend on your preference. I like something more like the Ghost Max where I'm not squishing in all the way, and this has that character for sure. So right up there with Brooks Ghost Max, Hoka Bondi 9 is going to be in that category as well, and now Nimbus. So with that, let me get some miles in. Plan for this morning. We are going hard this morning because I have an event at my friend's house this weekend. My friend Jim, we were doing 100 laps around his house on Saturday night. It's going to be about 17 miles. So I'm getting my long run in today. So I'm going to have to go get all the long run stuff ready for that. So plan is 20 miles. I've been on this roll of doing a first run review in a new shoe for the long run basically every week for the past month. So we're going to get a 20-mile long run test on the Nimbus right out of the box here. We already know it's going to be comfortable just for standing and walking. I can feel it's so well supported right now. I'm 6'5" with the Nimbus on. Watch out. By the way, new Hobby Jogger winter apparel is live. This is the oversized hoodie. I was going to say we have the truckers. We don't have the truckers. We have the beanies. The price is $30. The $100 was a joke. App members, you still get $15 off of those to make up $15. We also have quarter zips, and we have a windbreaker, light rain resistant type of jacket, Champion collab. A few Champion collabs. This hoodie is different. It's not a Champion, but it is my favorite hoodie right now. It's oversized, relaxed fit. So if you want some winter Hobby Jogger stuff, go check it out, hobbyjogger.com. I'm gonna go get my gels and everything, and then we can hit the road here. Big Zaw. And long run on a Thursday is a weird vibe, but you know what? We're gonna get it done. It's sunny, it's a beautiful morning. We have a new pair of shoes on. Let's do this thing. And this is one of those shoes, the Nimbus, that falls into that category of brands don't typically mess these types of shoes up, but we'll see, because Asics has been whipping this thing around in the past few generations. Man, right out of the gates here, this is what you want out of a Nimbus, right out of the gates here. Early overreaction. This is putting a smile on my face. I don't know how this is gonna be for going the distance, but for most people out there, if you're training for a marathon, you'll probably have another shoe in your rotation, but this feels like coming home. This feels like coming home. This is softer than the Bondi, softer than the 26 for sure. This is right back there to max cushion relaxation. I'm loving it. I am loving this. Yeah, this is a good Nimbus so far. High stack, nice relaxed feel. Not a ton of bounce, but just enough. And no aggression at all. The question, of course, is once I get past an hour, how's this gonna do?
The only ASMR I know is always stacking mileage. Rawr. First straightaway here. This is a very big shoe. I don't know if that's a downside or a demerit or a drawback, but it's a huge shoe. This is like the Lexus LX of running shoes. Massive, comfortable, smooth. I'm not going to be running fast today, so we're going to be out here for some serious time on feet to get this 20. I don't even know if I could run a sub 6 mile in this shoe. That's the vibe. It is a super laid back cruiser. Why? Mile 1, 7:34. Yeah, they definitely bumped up the comfort and softness, but I am already getting concerned that this is gonna have too much squish for me, too much squish for my preference for longer distances. That's why I love the Bondi so much. It was the perfect amount of squish versus bounce. It was soft, but I wasn't sinking into it. And the rocker on that was just beautiful. The rocker on here isn't as good. This is more about that gel unit in the heel, so if you're landing farther back on the platform, you are getting some nice squish. But already it's feeling borderline too much for my preference as a daily trainer. Now where this is going to be great, or could be great, is for recovery running. If you want something only for relaxed miles, shorter recovery runs and walking, so far that's the vibe I'm getting. And that's okay, because Asics does have so many other daily trainer type shoes. I'm getting a little worried about having to go 20 in this though. Oh boy. Mile 2, 7:19. So there's a few common issues that can happen with max stack shoes. One is bottoming out. So if you have a tall stack of foam and it's too soft, where you don't have a plate, it can feel like your foot is just slamming against the ground. That can happen in shoes like the 1080 for some people, the Balos, even the Invincible, especially if it's a 10mm drop or just thinner in the forefoot. Second main issue is weight. These max stack shoes can just feel heavy and clunky for some people. And the third is what I'm almost experiencing right now, which is fighting against the foam. If you have a tall stack and it doesn't respond in the way you think it will, with a bounce and a response that matches the energy you're putting down into the shoe. It can feel like you're fighting against the foam. And I don't want to tag this with that accusation yet, but first few miles I'm getting close, and it's reminding me of what I experienced at times in the 25 and even in the Glideride Max, which is, for some runs the soft squish is great, and for others feels like I just can't get the shoe going. All right, wet, for some reason, random wet patch in the middle of the street here. I have no idea why it's here, probably for a wet weather grip test, and this grip is great. Super sticky. So passes that with flying colors, this will be fine if you're concerned about wet weather grip. But in terms of the protection, so the feeling of fighting against the foam, that's more of a ride preference, but the protection here is amazing. I feel so well supported. It's so cushioned and comfortable. This is an awesome shoe for comfort. That's the headline here. This is comfort to the max. This is almost like a Glycerin Max. Now, hitting this downhill decently hard and landing more toward the back of the platform, the gel unit provides great protection. So if you're a bigger runner and want that protection, it's going to be awesome. Also, landing more up towards the forefoot, the protection in here is better and the underfoot feel is better than the 26. That was an issue I heard from a lot of forefoot runners in the 26, was that it felt too thin. You're not going to have that issue here. Only ASMR I know is always setting more records. Bang. Mile 3, 7:14 pace. Activated. The only ASMR I know is activated, still mobbing recklessly. Bah. There's so many good max stack options on the market. I'll say if you don't like soft squishy, just avoid this one, because it's on that line where I can't quite tell, but it's distracting. It's definitely distracting. I'm not locking into that disappears on foot like I was able to with the 26. It's always reminding me how comfortable it is and how much stack is underfoot. And I've said this before, but there are very few bad shoes on the market. I have not tried a bad shoe out of Asics. They really only make good shoes. Even Superblast, I don't love it, but it's a good shoe for a lot of people. But there are bad use cases for great shoes. For example, going to Whole Foods in a pair of Alpha Fly 3s. That's a bad use case for a great shoe. And so for this, if you're expecting a versatile daily trainer, you can run workouts in, do treadmill in, go around town, you might be disappointed. But if you want something comfortable that's good for walking and jogging, then you're probably going to be happy. That's where this is settling in for me. A nice relaxed shoe. Makes me just want to take a long walk. I don't even want to run anymore. slugs massacring roads. Mile 4, only ASMR I know is All-Star Squad making rubber bands. Rubber bands. Only ASMR I know is analyzing shoes, making racks. Analyzing shoes, making racks. This guy from Germany didn't like my aggressive voice. He said he wanted to be pleasant. I'm gonna hit you with the pleasant flow today. Out here, analyzing shoes, making racks. Dunking on the Third Reich. Mint Hill on my back. Ballin' like Mike. You're just a little tyke. Only ASMR I know is all my slugs moving ruthless. Always stacking money to the roof. Yes, sir. A certain seniority making them rethink. ASMR. The only ASMR that I know is attack silently, maneuver righteously. Only ASMR I know is aerobically superior marathon regimen. Another silly Morton refuel. Always steady mobbing, rigorously. Very pleasant. Yes, sir. Hit him with that E.E. Cummings flow. It's that Georgia O'Keeffe. Might drop a sonnet after this one. Alley-oop. Slam! Mediocre runt. Only ASMR I know is let all soft men rot. Rot. Accruing stacks. Manufacturing respect. Another shenanigans morning run. Bro, I could keep going. I could keep going. How many is that? They want to be like me calling stuff bangers here, bangers there. No other YouTuber is going to be like me. They can try. They can steal this thumbnail. They can steal the lingo. They can try to steal the swag. But they just cannot. They cannot. Hey, you got some views, but we made a movement. Ah, all YouTubers meet, really. Awesome, spectacular mileage revolution. Annihilating YouTubers maniacally, religiously. Another slight, more reasons. Another slight, more reasons. Always stay mad ready. Always stay mad ready. All YouTubers mid. Really. Another steal in my review. Out here talking on a random Thursday. I'm more like Al Michaels
than I am like any of these shoe tubers. I already told you guys, it's 12 days of talking nonsense. R.I.P. Jesus. We're at about mile 11 here. Settling into a nice groove with these things. It's like a bouncy marshmallow. This is giving me big 25 vibes. I've had a near identical experience with these as the 25. You know, man, I'm gonna change my attitude about these shoe tubers. Let them have the thumbnail, let them have the lingo. Because you know what they can't touch is the mileage. They're washed, they can't touch the mileage, so I'll give it to them. I'll give them the thumbnail, that's yours. Banger, that's yours. And the mileage, if you want it, come and take it. I honestly don't know what's wrong with me. I once tackled a kid on the basketball court. I'm just too competitive. In the words of Larry June, anybody in my lane's getting ran down. Might have to send some demon slugs out to the UK. Remind these bloke tubers where they got their swag from. The only Ben I know is Ben Franklin. You know why it makes me so frustrated? I know everybody says imitation is the biggest form of flattery. I get that. But these bigger channels steal elements, and it's been happening since I started. Steal elements of what I do, and they don't give me props. They don't show me out. And it happens in all spheres. Bigger companies stealing from smaller companies, and the smart small companies will figure out a way to take the big guys down and to break the dang doors of the industry and to let themselves in. I don't give a gosh dang about the industry. I'm coming through with the demon slug infantry. I'm not an influencer, I'm an instigator. I'm a gosh dang insurgent leading a mileage revolution. And guess what, man? I told you, people have been stealing the swag since I started. There's this one dude would literally steal video titles and ideas verbatim. And guess what? We dang near doubled up on him in this year. Doubled up on his subs. That's what I'm gonna do to everyone else next year. 100K by the end of 25. This is why I made a silent video. When you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I'm out here on a random Thursday talking like Kirk Herbstreit. They call me Kirk Herb Mileage. Man, we beat the road so hard they had to send a fleet of Silverados out to patch it up. That's crazy. I know sometimes people wonder why I'm getting so fired up. Let me give you an example. Just this week, I emailed a PR agency. Said, you know what? I'm thinking about taking this more legit or just professional. Try to be professional. 2025. And I told them what I was looking for, and they emailed me back and they said they don't know if they want to work with me because they don't want to make the other reviewers upset. What? What? That's the type of thing that just makes me want to burn this all down. You don't want to work with me because you don't want to make these other guys upset? I bet. This is the type of stuff I've been dealing with. It just puts a battery in my back. That's why I'm fired up. Forget the industry. I'm in the streets. Only ASMR I know is angry street motivation ritual.
So here's the thing, man. If you got something bothering you, let it light a fire. Let it put a battery in your back. Let it make you go into overdrive. They don't want to work with me? I bet. I bet. Hit them with the pleasant flow for the Germans. Mile 16. The only ASMR I know is another 16 miles ran. He's an industry boy still shilling AG1. Hey, shilling AG1, P. Hey, yo, P. These boys shilling AG1 still. AG1 shillers, mileage revolutionary. It's the only gosh dang ASMR that I know. I haven't touched a supplement since 2022. Up your mileage. You don't need any gosh dang supplements. Save some money up, buy your kids some better Christmas gifts. I save my money, I drop racks on some nice Yeti water bottles. My kids are gonna have that swag hydration. These boys still letting their kids sip out the Contigo because they're spending all their money on AG1. Last year, I was able to buy that heavy KitchenAid mixer for Charles because I wasn't spending money on supplements. I was saving up. I had to do strength training just to pick it up off the gosh dang showroom floor out of Best Buy. These boys still mixing dough by hand. Boys blowing all their money on vitamin D supplements. Go outside, get some miles in. You can save some cash. Haven't touched a vitamin since Flintstone gummies back in 2004. It's a beautiful day. Appreciate small miracles routinely. It's the only ASMR I know. Out here like young Simba with the yellow 27s on. They call me a Monroe St. mileage runner. It's the only ASMR I know. Ali, Shaq, Michael, Russell. It's the only ASMR I know. Always seeking more rings. Always seeking more rings. Animal, swag, monster, resilient. It's the only ASMR I know. Another silent movie? Revenue. Academic, still moving risky. Alright, still mud ripping. Another stunner, mileage runner. Bang. Always slick, moving ruthless. 20 miles and 23 hundredths. Had to take them back to 2023 on that one. The days where we started grinding daily. Had to drop a 2023 just so I could remember the pain. 7:06 pace. 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 36 seconds. Honestly, out of the gates here, I thought we were going to be out there for dang near 3 hours with how cushy this thing is. But these new Max Cushion shoes are surprising me, man. This
and the Bondi, the next frontier of max stack is no longer enough to be soft and comfortable. You got to have some bounce, some what these brands refer to as energy return. You got to have some pop, some zing, some bada boom, bada bang. And this new crop of shoes is doing that. They're no longer squishy slop fests. When we first started Max Stack, it was still traditional EVA. Some brands were fine-tuning it. The New Balance More V2s of the world, even some of the older Asics were not super soft. And then we transitioned to 2022. Everything got soft and cushioned. And now we're finding this beautiful sweet spot where we still have tall stack. We have 40 plus millimeters of stack, but we get bounce. The Mag Maxes of the world, the Nimbus of the world, the Bondis of the world. It's a competitive crop of shoes out there. And look at this. We got those beautiful break-in lines after one run. 20 miles out of the box. Bada boom, bada bang.
It's so nice to have the Hobby Jogger beanie now, because I can be warm for the breakdown. I had to go inside to send a pitch deck to a client for my 9 to 5. So I cooled off a little. I didn't shower yet. Only ASMR I know is annual salary is mad real. Yo, is it me or does this thing just look crazy on camera? For some reason, I have the 26 here. This looks more normal. This looks more of like a normal shoe. The 27 looks like a kid's shoe. Something about the proportions of it make it look like a toddler shoe. Let's see the 25 here. Yeah, the 25 looks more normal too. I don't know what they did to it. It's the bottom. I think it's this bottom midsole. It makes the shoe look really small. Like the proportions are just off. Maybe because the stack is so tall. I don't know. But we got 20 miles here in the Asics-Gel Nimbus 27. And I think I'm a young OG in the game because this is my 3rd generation. Once you get into 3 generations of running shoes review, that's how you know you're a young OG. So you better treat me as such. Always seeking more respect. It's the only ASMR that I know. All right, no more ASMR puns. How many ASMR puns do we get? It might have been 27 for the Asics-Gel Nimbus 27, but 20 miles in the Asics-Gel Nimbus 27. I had to move my long run from Sunday to Thursday because on Saturday night I'm doing I don't even know what you'd call it. It's not a race. He calls it an event. My friend Jim Rhodes, he does this event at his house where you run 100 laps around his house. He has a trail around. I mean, he lives in my neighborhood. It's not like he owns a massive amount of property. He has a good amount of property, but it's a trail just around his house. One loop is 0.17 miles, and you do that 100 times to get about 17 miles. I did it last year. It was fun. It also beat up my legs a ton. And it's not like a marathon where there's that central nervous system fatigue and I couldn't run fast for weeks. It was that DOMS. It really did trigger DOMS from the downhills because his house is at a bottom of a hill. His driveway goes down. So you have to run up the hill, jog the street, bomb the downhill, go around his backyard, and then up the hill. So that's gonna be fun. I think it's something like 2,500 feet of elevation. So I still wanted to get my regular 20 miles in on the road. Stay consistent, man. We get that 20 in every week. It doesn't gosh dang matter if I'm running 100 laps around Jim Rhodes' house. It doesn't matter if I'm running 1,000 laps around John Smith's house. I'm gonna be putting down a 20 on the roads, and this week we did it in the Gel Nimbus 27. So headline here, this is a good shoe. These first run reviews for me are intended to see, is it a good shoe? Is it a solid shoe? Is it one to consider? Did they mess it up? That is my general approach with these first run reviews. They did not mess it up. This is still a great shoe. It still feels like a Gel Nimbus. And if you like the 25, you're gonna like this. It's a return to what I first loved about the Gel Nimbus. And I've actually enjoyed all 3 of these generations. I enjoyed the 25 for its soft comfort and its slight bounce, that beautifully accepting feel for time on feet on recovery days. It's not a fast shoe, and I was clipping off 7-minute pace if we look at the splits, but these days that's an aerobic pace for me. My aerobic pace is anywhere from 6:30 to 7:30, depending on how recovered I am. And I guess today I'm feeling pretty recovered because I did not double yesterday. I got 10 miles on the trails, which was a nice recovery effort for me. So I was feeling decently fresh, was able to clip off 7-minute pace in this thing with ease. And as I got deeper into that run, I was getting more bounce and more what these brands refer to as energy return out of this shoe. Now, this is a term, energy return, that a lot of brands use. They measure it differently, and the reason it's coming into my head so much today is because that's what this shoe is making me think of. Energy return. How much of the force you put down into a shoe are you getting back? And for a long time, we associated max cushion, soft, comfort-oriented shoes with impact absorption, purely impact absorption, and that is changing this year. We're seeing super max stack shoes like the Skyward X, like the Mag Max, even to a lesser extent like the Glycerin Max, incorporate more of that bounce, and this is taking on that character as well. So first run here, to me, it's actually combining the elements that I really liked about the 25 and the 26. And I did say at mile 3, let's just classify that still as part of the early reaction, that I thought this was on the line of being too soft, squishy. And it still might be for some people. This is not a firm shoe. If you want a firmer, high cushion shoe, go get the Novablast 4 on discount, or another great one is the Hoka Skyflow, or even the Hoka Bondi that has less of that soft sinking in squish. This does have some of that, but it's also surprisingly like the Mag Max, non-plated, tall stack, but still giving me some of that bounce back. So first run, and I'm gonna have to do some head-to-heads comparisons with the Novablast 5, with the Glideride Max. This is one that I'm gonna be getting a lot of miles on. I just love the Nimbus, what it stands for, so I will be testing this a ton. I'm actually gonna get the Superblast to 100 miles soon, and then maybe I'll just start putting all my doubles on this thing, but I loved it. High cushion, everything that is great about Super Max Stack, which is protection, comfort, with some ability to kind of pick up the pace. Now, the downside of this shoe is it is 100% not a speed training shoe. So I did take the Mag Max out for a real workout during my Chicago block on that last week. I actually did a 3x1 mile workout with some threshold pace in there. I would not attempt to run threshold pace in this. With the 26, I did also run some 640 pace miles in this thing. That's probably the limits of this shoe, and I think today I probably had let's do a split up again. My fastest mile was probably something like a 649 or a 652. I was really locked into just right around that 7 flat once I got up to cruising altitude, and that's where it felt best for me, normal aerobic zone, even to more relaxed zone. So where this shoe is going to fit in is long distance, relaxed cruising, walking, everyday miles, if you want something that is more designed for accumulating mileage versus practicing speed. The other thing with the shoe and having so much stack is just by virtue of the geometric setup here, by virtue of this gigantic bulbous amount of midsole foam under here, it's not going to be a good shoe for speed training because you're not able to work the speed mechanics in the appropriate manner in this shoe. Appropriate speed mechanical running. That's the only ASMR that I know. So yeah, not a speed training shoe, a comfort oriented, relaxed mileage shoe. I don't even want to call it a daily trainer. You could use it as a daily trainer, but for me, daily trainers are those shoes where if someone is asking me for one shoe, a new runner or even an experienced runner who just wants to have one shoe, say they're a guy or a gal who races in the Vapor Fly. I don't know why I said gal, it's one of those things. A dude or a dudette who races in a Vapor Fly and they want a new daily trainer, I would not recommend this shoe. 26 felt more like a daily trainer because it had that firmer, robust feel. I would be fine having this as my one shoe to take on a trip, the 26 that is. 27, I would not want to have this as my one shoe to take on a trip. That's a little heuristic or a test to see, is it a daily trainer or is it a specialized shoe? Similar to a shoe like the Asics Magic Speed 4. On the other hand, right, you could rotate these two shoes, Magic Speed 4 for fast, Nimbus 27 for slow, but I wouldn't want either of them alone as my one shoe to take on a trip. Something like the Novablast or the Supwell, maybe even the Glideride Max could be better as that one shoe, so a specialized shoe. So let's close it out here with those 3 questions we like to answer when we do these analyses. First, how did this shoe compare to its intended purpose? So its intended purpose is to be a high cushion, comfortable, relaxed mileage shoe. It knocks it out of the park. Also a very comfortable shoe for walking. I don't know if I'm gonna use it for walking because it's weird. I like to have some shoes for running, some shoes for walking. Maybe I should just get the gray colorway and use that for walking. But I did stop at the gas station to use the bathroom, and I was walking around the house before I came outside here with the shoe on. It's super comfortable. It also does have a soft insole, which is surprising. These Asics shoes typically don't, but this does have a nice soft insole, way better than what's in the Superblast. So it has a good step-in feel, and overall very comfortable. Your foot is cradled by this soft, bulbous stack of foam underfoot, so knocks it out of the park for its intended purpose. Second question, how does it compare to everything else in the category? And when I'm looking at the category, non-plated cushion above 40 millimeters. So more V5, we can throw Mag Max in there, we can throw Hurricane in there, Oomph 22 would be in there, Bondi would be in there, and this is different than those other shoes. It does have a specialized place. It is more of that coddling, soft comfort that's reminding you have a max stack shoe on foot. There's a few different ways that brands approach this. There's ultra bounce, like in the Mag Max. There's reliable smoothness, like in the Bondi. And there's soft comfort, like in this, in the more V5. So if you're seeking that soft comfort, that's what the Nimbus is. It is extremely cloud-like. Again, they have softened it up, and right up there for some of the most comfortable shoes on the market. This and the Bondi, dropping really close together, are now up there in contention for me with most comfortable shoes that I've tested. Something like the Ghost Max 2, I didn't mention that one, Ghost Max 2 and Glycerin. Those ones would be, those are more of daily trainers to me. Ghost Max 2 is more of a high cushion daily trainer. If we want to throw the Glycerin Max in there, that actually wouldn't be a bad comparison to this. This is almost a Glycerin Max, which brings me to my third question. How does this compare to everything else on the market? And for that, we look at price. Now, I told you guys about shoeflation. This has always been 160. The 25 was 160 USD. The 26 was 160 USD. Bang, this is 165 USD. So it's not a huge increase, but brands are creeping up. Same thing that the Bondi did. They increased that by $5 as well, or even more. Was it 165 to 170? Regardless, they increased the price of the Bondi. Asics increased the price of this. I had to look because I thought it was Barefoot Mafia in the van, but really it's just Jesus Christ. $165, non-plated cushion. You are going to be getting one of the most comfortable shoes out there. Durability will be the biggest question with this, and people get these shoes for walking, for time on feet, not just for running. And this is a runnable shoe. They did not unrunnable it, as proven by this 20 miler out of the box at a 7 flat pace, similar to what we did in the Bondi. These max stack shoes are now runnable and slightly fun again, but we'll just have to see how the durability is. So that's the biggest question mark for me. We do have a lot of miles on the Glycerin Max. I have 100 on it and it's feeling really good. A lot of other people in the Supwell app have taken that past 100 and still holding up. So we will just have to see how this guy does. But I am pleased with it. This is another hit, man. These brands are just dropping good shoes. There's so many good shoes on the market. And it's a reminder, you don't have to go out and buy everything, but whatever your preference is, there's gonna be a shoe out there that works well for you and your needs. So let me know what comparisons you want to see. Let me know what other questions you have on the Asics-Gel Nimbus. It's the third Nimbus, man. Feeling fine. Third Nimbus that we tested. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another show.
By the way, the Balega socks, they were fine. Socks are socks. Dude, I don't know. They were just socks. I still think the OS First cushion ones are the best comfortable ones, but these are up there. They're thinner than the features ones that I like. So if there are any issues on the upper like some of those Audi Zero uppers with the rubbing, I don't think this would be the best. But for a comfortable shoe like the Nimbus, they were fine. I'm not going to run out and buy a ton, but they were fine. I'll give them a 7 out of 10. Features is an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. They're just solid, get the job done. OS First is a 10 out of 10 for comfort. The breathability of their cushion ones aren't the best, but I don't know, man. All the difference between these performance running socks that are $20 and high quality, well made are very slight, but they got the job done. So shout out Balega. Look what Supwell Kitchen dropped today. A sourdough massive roll. That's the only ASMR that I know. Tastes like those old Bertucci's rolls. You guys remember Bertucci's? Bertucci's from back in the day? It's straight flames. It's straight flames. A massive stack. That's a lot of stuff. Let's see how many millimeters that is, bro. That's a lot of stuff. That's crazy. Dang near the same stack as the Nimbus 27. Was not empty. Had to come back for 4 more. Like Trump. The only MAGA I know is make aerobic gains again. We got 4 more, man. 4 in 2200s. That's a 24-mile day. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. 24-mile day. To remind them we all got the same 24 hours. All right, so double day test in the Nimbus. Gosh dang it, this is one of the most comfortable shoes on the market. This is going to be duking it out with the Bondi for some miles in my rotation over the next few weeks. These are 2 really solid shoes. The thing with this one is it is always reminding me how comfortable it is on foot. And I have locked into some grooves with it where it was disappearing, and other times I am feeling how soft it is. So it's right on that line. It's right on the line. The Balos teetered on that line for me, too, of being too soft. Now, this is not as soft as the Balos. It's more supportive. It's wider, a lot more stable, and it's super comfortable. I mean, look at this. And it is going to take 10 to 15 miles to break in. We put up 24 miles today, so that's what some of these other guys would call a full review. But we put up 10 to 15 within the first hour, and it is broken in. It doesn't have as much of that soft squish as those first few steps, And it's coming into more of its true character here now at 24 miles, but it's always going to be reminding me how soft it is. So that's the difference between this and some of these other Max Stack shoes. 24-mile day, it feels good. It feels good to put up a 24-mile day. Don't compare me to any of these other shoe tubers unless they're putting up 24-mile days on the regular. I'm not even a shoe tuber anymore. Put me on the aerobic sicko Mount Rushmore. That's the only ASMR I know.